It's time for the Lavish Biker Podcast, powered by Lavish T. Williams. It's the dopest, realest podcast in the nation. We talk about everything biker related with no filter. This show ain't for the weak, insecure suckers in their feelings. This show is for the real ones. Thank you and everyone for tuning in, and make sure to add, like, follow, and subscribe at Lavish T. Williams on all social and streaming platforms. And now, let's get into the Lavish Biker Podcast with your hosts, Lavish T. Williams and Pedro.
Oh man, we back.
Okay.
Another Wednesday. Lavish Biker Podcast.
Indeed.
We got two guests in the house today. And you know what, Pedro? This is their first time here on the podcast.
True.
Both of them. We should have had them on here.
Like, been around for a minute.
They've been around for a while. Should have had y'all on here. But you know, it's the right time. It's the right time to get y'all on here because we got a lot to talk about and discuss because it's a lot of things that individuals don't even know about you. And you right in front of their face and they don't even know. So listen, we got Harley D and we got Man D, 2 Ds in the house. So let's make some noise for them.
Some noise for them. Okay. Yeah.
Listen, Harley D, man, listen. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
Hey, I'm Harley D. I've been around since 1994. Been riding Harley since 1994. Started off with a soft tail special, which is now a deluxe. Transition from that to a sport bike. Went on the sport bike scene in the year 2000. Had a couple close calls, and then I went back to the Harleys.
Okay. Man D, what about you?
What up, though? I'm Man D, right? And I ain't been around that long. Just 10, 15, 16, 17.
That. Way before
Yeah. I was about to say, man. I had to pause myself. Like, hold on, man.
It's like a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
Well, start on that chopper.
I think I've been around since about 2000. Well, I'm gonna say 2000. I met you in 2004.
Yeah,
2004.
Down at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At the Comerica Park.
Nigga didn't have no coat.
Oh yeah. You want to get that? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, right?
Tell me.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. 2004, I had a chopper.
Okay.
And that's how I started. That's when I met Harley D. That's when I came on the scene.
Came all right though.
But I'm gonna tell you something. You know who brought me on the scene?
Who that?
Was Harley D.
Mm-hmm.
Harley D brought me on the scene. I was down in Comerica Park. It was 2004. They had that first time to do the Superfest down there. Yeah. And I'm down there. It was in July. And I'm down there on this yellow chopper thinking I'm doing something.
You was doing something.
But it was cold that time. That year was real cold. It was cold that year for some reason. And I think it got down about 40 degrees that night.
40 that night on July.
And we standing out there in front of the Comerica Park. Listen, we used to ride our bikes right up to it. Everybody ride their bikes. So I was down there by myself, and I've always been a loner. So I'm sitting over there by myself. And so Harley D walked over to me, and, introduced himself to me. Come on over here, man, with us, And ever since then, that was it. So he's the one that introduced me to this Harley game.
Get out of here.
He's the one that introduced me to it. He was like my mentor when it came to the Harley Davidsons. He was the one that introduced me. He showed me everything I needed to know. He showed me how to strap a bike down. He showed me how to travel.
Dang, that's a fact that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Now I remember when I first seen Harley D. When I first met Harley D, it wasn't that I met him like, hey, what's going on? And I always tell this story.
I'm waiting.
I always tell this story. Listen, and this lets you know how far, because there's a lot of new riders out here, right?
A lot of new riders out here.
So they don't really know like how far back certain people go. and how long they really been around. I seen Harley D when he was when the V-Rod came out.
Yeah.
Oh, too.
He had a
A
V-Rod.
chrome one.
Yeah. And we was in Greektown. Cause I used to hang out in Greektown. And everybody was at Fuddruckers. Then they'd go over to the River Rock.
Right.
But I used to hang out with the old guys. Meat Man, Crap Shooter, Magic. We used to post up in front of Pizza Populous. Then Harley D pull up. It's Gold Wings.
Shout
Then
out
you
to
got
the
my
Wolfpack.
yeah.
Right.
Wolfpack.
Right.
You got the Gold Wings. Then you got my crotch rocket. And then you got Harley D on the end with this V-Rod. And when I see Harley D, man, let me tell you, I ain't even really say nothing to him. I just looked at that bike like, man, that's a funny looking bike. And it's a Harley. And I'm like, that ain't like the regular Harleys right there. And the old guys was looking like, yeah, man, that thing looked fast. And I think at that time, shortly after or before, they had that Tomahawk bike.
Oh yeah.
So
Chrysler.
right,
Yeah.
and they was looking at that V-Rod like that, and that was the conversation. I seen him down there. Then I seen him a couple more times. Then I seen him again on the Black Ultra. Was it? Did you have a
Yep.
black? It was a Black Ultra.
That was my dad's.
Okay, a black Ultra
Mhm.
is when I seen him. But he had this swag about him, right? I ain't never told this part, and it was like, yeah, man, I ain't about to talk to this guy, man. He just had this look. He had this look. And the look was like that European look because he had that little mustache. Already light skinned. He was clean.
I'm gonna tell you what's really crazy about the story
What's that?
that man D was telling. I met Duro over Big Ken house.
So did. Yeah.
Big Ken had a Road King in the garage. I had a chopper at the time too.
And it was yellow.
It was yellow too. I had a chopper. So Duro Jones and Big Ken pulled a bike out. So, man, right around the corner. I'm like, oh man, I don't want that. At that time, a lot of people don't know that chopper shit was the shit.
It was hot
When
at that
shit
time
was
in the
on
early
fucking
2000s.
fire, dog.
That was real.
Everybody wanted a chopper.
Dog.
Everybody wanted the big dog.
Man, that chopper.
Hey, Pedro was a rock star. He had that old leather coat with all kind of studs and shit on it. I was like, look at this. He was like, he cool, man.
Right.
He cool.
Yeah, so, dog. So they're like, man, take it around the corner. Oh man, it was a Road King.
Yeah.
Nice Road King too.
On the
matter of
anniversary.
fact. Bad motherfucker. I rode the bike around the corner. He's like, man, you got to get you a Harley. I was like, that was the first time I wanted one.
Yeah.
No stuff.
And he got one right after that, too.
I got it right after that.
Yeah, right after that, ended up with that deluxe.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. And that's why, another reason why you're on here too, man. And why you're on here, we got to talk about history.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know. And I'm not talking about MC World because that's a whole separate world. But a lot of the lead into the social world and just bikers, period. Harley D played a silent role in it.
I'm talking about like a major role.
With
Like
with the Harley
A
Davidson.
major role.
Because for me, I want to be honest, as far as Harleys, within the age group, even though Harley D is a little older than me, he was still younger than a lot of the other guys.
Yeah, the guys.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that Harley D had to be the first younger guy that I seen on a Harley. Older than me, but younger
Right.
than the other guys riding a Harley Davidson and was clean.
Yes.
Now, let me tell you where I got my start from.
All right.
My start came from the Hellraisers. Johnny Smoke. Late Johnny
Yeah,
Smoke.
Johnny Smoke. Rest in peace, Johnny Smoke.
Frenchie. Toonie Bug.
Okay.
Then I hung out with sidekicks, Raymond, Sharky, 45. Used to holler at Huck, old man Huck. Remember Huck?
Okay.
Then that's where I started transitioning into the MC world from dealing with those guys.
No stuff.
You know, they was trying to recruit me, but I wasn't ready yet.
I mean, it ain't for everybody.
Yeah, I wasn't ready
Because
yet.
I mean,
was still learning the
even
ropes.
at that time, and we take a lot of the guys that's in MC clubs now,
Mhm.
the ones that been around for a while, wasn't nobody thinking about being in an MC club at that time. Because when I came out, I wasn't thinking about being in an MC club. Then I started hanging around the MC club, hustling within the MC club. But I didn't want to be a part of it because it's like, man, I don't want to wear no vests.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because at that time you had the people that wore vests, they got looked at different.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't want to be a part of that, man. That ain't me. Yeah. You know, I like to go around them and hang out and then, you know, go over here because I want to go back to Pedro's philosophy. Everybody that was in the motorcycle club looked dirty and dingy.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little spooked at first, you know. Going over. I was a little spooked. I put my lock on the bike and they was laughing at me and shit. Why you locking your bike? Why you locking your bike? I mean, man, it's just something I do. But I was really spooked. You know, I had a new soft tail. I was in love with that bike, you know. Locked it up, went in the club, trying to smoke. You good? I'm like, no. They was laughing at me.
But you got to think back then, the era is different too. Because you not being in the MC club, you don't know. Because right then and there, they treated you totally different than how they are now. That makes a big difference. And the young guys and the younger people, even the older people in age that ain't been around the MC world like that, early 2000s. Because that's when I was, 99.
You go in there and sit your ass down.
Right. You was quiet. If you ain't really know nobody, you ain't really have a purpose there. You know what I'm saying? So I always reference that to the way that the bike world is now, where things that a lot of people do now, they couldn't get away with
but believe it or
back
not,
then.
It was safe.
And I tell people that all the time.
Super safe.
It was safe.
That I'd rather go to a motorcycle club than a regular club. Because I knew wasn't nothing going to happen after you get past that stereotype of looking at them to be what they are versus what they really are as far as a crew in the club. Yeah. So I like that, man. Man, D, what got you outside of, coming on the scene, meeting Harley D, man? What got you to be the man D that you are today? The Harley guy that you are.
I said, pretty much, I was always been a loner. I never hung around a big crowd. And when I met Daryl, he showed me some love, just from him giving me that jacket that night. He didn't even know me. He just met me. He gave me this Harley jacket to wear. I could have rolled off with it and been gone. Never hollered at him again. But just because of that, when he showed me that love, it was like, oh boy, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So I stuck with the guy, and I watched the guy. And I can be with Daryl. I can be with Daryl. Somebody can call this guy 4:00 in the morning.
Facts.
And he gonna get up.
You got to rep of that.
And he gonna come get you.
I ain't know.
Do he?
He gonna come get you.
No, I don't care if he sleep. Where he at?
It don't matter.
He can be in the town next to you.
You can be
That's
3-4 hours away. I done been with this guy down in Florida. He the one showed me how to travel. He took me on my first traveling trip. First couple of times, and I watched him, and I watched how everybody, it's like everybody, if they were going to strap bikes down, Harley D had to be there. Nobody wasn't strapping no bikes down unless Harley D was there. He got everybody's stuff. You know what? It wasn't nothing happening unless it went through him.
I ain't want that shit falling on mine.
Right.
I know that's right.
Right.
But I didn't been with him in the house down in Florida, and somebody didn't call him. They were 2 hours away. He get up, man, where you going, man? I gotta go get him. I gotta go get him, and that's what he was. And I like that. I like that. And I looked up to the guy for that. And anything I had to do, he showed me how to drive a trailer. He said, this is what you gotta do, and he let me do it. Now you gotta strap down a bike. And I got to the point where I'm strapping him down. He made me do it. It's like that. It was almost like a big brother type thing.
No stuff.
It wasn't no. I can't do it here. Just what you finna do. And then he rolled with me on. He got me into the Harley. I was riding the chopper, so he switched bikes with me. He said, "Here you go." He got on my chopper. I got on this Street Glide. Was it Street Glide? It's Street Glide, and we was riding, and we rode for some hours. And after that, I took that bike back home.
What happened?
No,
what happened?
The next day, we was at Motor City.
We was at Motor City.
The next day.
The very next day, we was at Motor City. That's when I got my first one.
And then in Cleveland that weekend.
Yeah, Cleveland that weekend.
We was in Cleveland that weekend.
That same weekend. That same weekend we was in Cleveland.
We was there the next day. And then the next day, you went and bought another bike.
Yeah. And so, so that was me, right?
2 bikes in 2 days.
We've been turned out ever since.
Oh, I've been turned out ever since, though, man. So I got to blame him right now for this mess that he done got me into right now, right?
Right.
You know,
Hey, but he put them together though.
Yeah, that was my thing. So it grew to be a passion of mine. You know, so every year, you know, I was putting my bike in the shop, and I took that one, my first one, and I changed it up so many different times. I mean, I think I was spending a minimum $10,000 every winter. You know what I'm saying? Just in that bike. That bike went from a Street Glide to a 21 to 23. You know,
When 21 was big.
yeah,
Remember
when
that?
21 was big.
When 21 was big.
Yeah, that was the big thing there, right? And then I changing it to a Road Glide, and oh man, so it was just one of them things that they got me into, man. And I stayed with it.
Man, no, that's good,
I
man.
stayed with it.
That's good. Now, listen, let's talk about clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you were an independent rider. Y'all was just riding because this is before everybody wanted to join the club, start a club, be a part of a club.
Mm-hmm.
And Harley D, I want to tell you that you even go back to talk in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know,
With Byron.
correct.
Me,
Because-
Big Ken, and Byron.
Yeah, because when I was in Chicago, you know, and we was kicking in, and we was talking about Detroit again. And I say this because a lot of people sleep on you, or they just don't know because you're not out there in everybody's face.
I'll stay out the way now.
You
I'm an old veteran now.
played a part with networking and mingling with that.
He played
as well.
All the clubs in the beginning, he played a part. He played a major part. I ain't gonna say a part. He played the major part.
The part.
The major part in
And
putting
that
everybody
together.
together.
Well, see, my whole thing is I wanted to bring everybody together from Detroit
Because-
coast to coast. I wanted everybody to mingle as
Because
one.
a lot of people don't know. Every day, what we used to meet at, be riding at
Bobby Car
at
Wash.
Bobby's Car Wash every day.
6
All of
o'clock.
us younger,
6
they had the
o'clock.
Harleys. It wasn't because
Okay.
it wasn't that many of them.
It was about 15, 20 of us.
Yeah,
And guess what?
every day up at the car wash.
It was a
waiting for them to
race.
close.
From every light.
Every light.
So
On the Harleys.
hey,
On Harley.
don't sleep on him or me. We might be old, but
Yeah,
we still
man.
get the business. Pull up on me. That's job work. Pull up on me.
Yeah.
So what made the transition to you wanting to be in a club, and I mean starting the Harley Boys?
Well, what made me get into the Harley Boys was that as this guy here, Pedro, Big E, Twin Money,
Yeah.
Country, 44, Big Ray. I mean, I can remember. I'm probably missing a few of us, but we sat
Jolly.
around. Yeah, we sat
Jolly.
around. We sat around and we talked about putting something together. Because see, we would know we used to go places though, right? They was always be like, hey, them Detroit boys.
Sure enough, when we went to Florida.
Florida, it was always
Yeah.
them Detroit boys.
Okay.
That's what it always was. I mean, we going somewhere deep, but it was just
Yeah.
the Detroit boys.
We
So-
shut
We used to shut-
we
we
shut
used to
down.
shut the-
Oh, we shut every place down.
Shut that shit down.
We shut every place
Miami
down.
Beach. We shut
Because
Miami Beach down.
before the South was doing anything, it
South
was,
Beach. That's what it was.
before
South
the
Beach.
South was doing anything with bikes, it was always Detroit. Detroit was on the scene with the first thing. We was the first one riding 21s. When no one wasn't know about 21, we was the first one riding them. So my thing, how I got into it, because when we talked about putting something together, everybody wanted to do something good with the community, and that was my thing.
Mhm.
We wanted to deal with underprivileged children, so I was big on doing stuff with the community. That was me. It wasn't about no gang. It wasn't about running with a bunch of people, because that just wasn't me. I was always a loner. So when we started to put that together, I was into it. Now let's
Okay.
do it. Let's do it.
You want
You
me
know
to
what
tell
I'm
you a
saying?
secret though?
What's that?
Do you remember? You remember this? A long time ago, just right before Bobby died, and he was trying to come up with a name.
Crowd pleasers.
Crowd pleasers. A lot of people don't know that.
Crowd pleasers.
It was crowd. It was gonna be crowd pleasers.
Yeah.
No,
We tried that. We tried to put that together 2 or 3 times.
2 or 3 times.
2 or 3
2 or 3
times.
times.
No stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crowd pleasers.
Crowd.
That was
pleasers.
supposed to. That really was
That was
supposed
supposed to
pop off.
unfold. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because when I
Rest
when I
in peace,
when I
Bobby.
talk to
Bobby
Byron,
Buffin.
he say that. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's like, yeah, man. I think y'all came down to Chicago, and seeing them.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you
And,
something.
and it was like when y'all seen each other, it was like they was doing the same thing that y'all was doing in Detroit.
2007.
And then it just clicked up and worked out like
True
that.
story. That was like one of the first places outside of LA that I seen motherfuckers on bikes that was flat on.
Yeah, Chicago. We went
Yeah,
there.
they
Me
was
and Big
climbing.
Ken went there, and he said, "Man, we about to do something big in 2 weeks." We came back. He said, "Go back and get your people and bring them." We came back and told everybody, and we went back over there.
We went back down there.
But they was shitting on us.
Yeah, they was.
They was shitting on us. We
Yeah.
thought we had something, but they had. Hey, listen, I have never seen 100 deep guys and girls all on Harleys, all fly.
Oh shit.
Tell them
Yeah.
music, wheels,
2007.
2007, and they was dressed nice.
But here's the thing, though, right? And we ain't taking nothing from Chicago, nothing from them. They was all on deluxes and down. We came up here, we was on glides.
Yeah, they had a couple road kings.
Yeah,
up
they
there.
Road Kings or whatever,
Yeah.
you know. Deluxe.
Yeah, we was on street glides.
We was on glides.
That's true.
We was on
But
glides.
they had some fly sports.
Oh yeah,
Them
did.
girls was on fly
Yeah,
they was
sports.
on, they had some fly bikes though, right? But I mean,
Paint jobs on all of
and
them.
don't get me wrong, I ain't
Was that
taking
Mike Vortex?
I ain't
Mike
taking
Vortex.
nothing from
Mike
them.
Vortex, still one of the baddest out there.
Darren. Remember
Yeah.
Darren?
But
Shout out to them, man.
but we started. We took off for them, but we took off.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
we piggyback off them, but we took off.
Man.
Because see, that's the thing about Detroit. People don't know. It didn't matter where we go. We shut it down.
That's
Yeah, man,
facts.
I'ma tell you
That's
something.
facts.
We-
That's
Listen to
facts.
this. Listen
Huh?
to
Shut
this.
it
True
down
story.
everywhere we went.
A lot of people don't know during that time, we was doing a lot of traveling, dog. We just went on the ground.
Yeah.
We was doing a lot of traveling, though, dog. We was always in Daytona every year. Miami, going to doing that Miami thing, Chicago.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, we used to be going like 2
2 weeks, 14 days.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Every year.
Every year.
And it wasn't nobody around doing that.
We was just traveling. We had to put that shit on the road.
We went to Miami and we was like celebrities down in Miami on Ocean Drive.
Annual, hey,
We was like
that
celebrities
was
down
annual.
there. Mhm.
Anyway.
I mean, even with the music, I can remember. I mean, the music we had the police used to come and tell me turn my music down because we had everybody partying off the bikes
Off the bikes.
in the street
In front of Wet Willie's.
in front of Wet Willie's on Ocean Drive. You know, that was us down
07.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To the point where people coming up, mothers and daughters, hey, let me take a picture with you. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it was. We was like
Having some
celebrities
fun,
down
man.
there. We used to have fun. We used to have fun.
No, man, that's dope, man. I mean, I like to hear these stories, man. I mean, some people they don't get to hear these stories, and being on this platform, man, you can reminisce, and people when they listen, they like, man, I remember that.
Hey,
I remember them guys.
I'm gonna tell you a little something.
What's
shout
that?
Shout out to this guy Black, Silver Street Glide.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
Black?
yeah.
Okay, we
Black.
was kind of sleeping on, as far as putting it together, the Harley Boys and all that. He's like, man, what we gonna do with this Harley Boy stuff? I said, man, I don't know. I said, I'm a little nervous. He said, man, just shoot a text out, see how many people come. So
This ain't that picnic, is it?
No, this is
no.
after the
Okay,
picnic.
okay.
They had already told us like, yo, put something
Put it
together.
together.
Here in Detroit.
Yeah, they told me to come back and try to put something together. Told me a Big Ken and all that. And Ken was like, hey, my man Daryl a little better with the people, so I'm gonna let him, holler at the people. But I was kind of like adamant about it because we did the Florida trip. But Black said, man, put that together while it's still hot. So I came back, I shot a text out. 50 people showed up at the Wild Wings.
Yeah.
Ready
We had 50
to
people.
do it.
Oh, it was
50.
ready. It
We
was
started
a lot
out
of us.
with 50 members.
It was a lot of us ready to do it.
Nah, I remember. This is before I even knew the Harley Boys as a club. I got my first Harley in 06.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 06 Street Glide. At this time, everything was still crotch rockets. So when y'all talk about going out of town, we, as far as crotch rockets, us going out of town was riding to Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Me being the biker in the MC club, it was ride out of town, but it was crazy for me and other guys on the crotch rockets. Like, man, y'all gotta ride out to Cincinnati on a crotch rocket. When we had the rags, we bikers.
We was going to
So-
Cleveland 120.
So in 06, well, in 06, 07, whenever y'all started the picnic, I didn't know that the Harley Boys was a club and it was something forming. because at this point now you got everybody coming up with these Harleys. It was only a few guys, and this is where you got all your education on the Harleys from. And I gotta tell it, Angelo shop for me, because everybody that had some Harleys
For sure.
was going to Angelo.
That's true.
So me going up there hanging around, it was like, okay, so what's the big deal about this? Blah, 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 blah. So then as they were talking about Harley boys, my interpretation was just dudes on bikes. And they like, oh man, you know, the Harley boys, they got a picnic at Belle Isle. I'm like,
Shelter number
I
9.
remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
I didn't go because I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
nobody that's, you know, on a Harley. And it wasn't a big thing to me, and it wasn't a big thing to my club, but it was a big thing in the street because everybody like, yeah, man, we had the Harley Boy picnic, and everybody was there. I didn't make it, but I didn't know it was a club. I just always thought it was just guys that just had Harleys, and then next thing you know, it was a club. They like, yeah, the Harley boys. So that's just interesting, you know, because they was talking about it before they even blossomed, because I guess you had all these different guys making these Harley sweet now. And quote unquote, Harley's old man bikes. But you put a little twist and you put a little flair to it, and now you got some cool shit.
Right.
And that was, you know, that was my memory of the start of the Harley boys. That picnic, because anybody else that wasn't affiliated with y'all wouldn't know anything about going to Chicago, seeing what's up there. All we knew was about what was going on here. And I think the first person that I really paid attention to, man, was Rail on his Road King.
Yeah.
Cause at this time,
Blue and
it was blue
gold.
and purple and
Gold.
yellow.
Yeah.
And he has handlebars and he had chrome. And at that time, it was you know, and I say crotch rockets because we was on crotch rocks, but we didn't have sounds. So to hear him coming through with this loud music, we was just looking at him like, man, this guy got music on the Harley. It's new to us. We don't know nothing about no Harleys.
Real was ahead of his time though.
Correct.
He was way ahead.
Because he had sounds and stuff on his bike, and that was the first guy that I actually noticed. And paint. A whole custom bike. Mm-hmm. That was the first custom Harley that I personally seen around here.
And then Mo was with him too. Mo came a little later.
I can't because I just know it was just.
Yeah,
I just knew it was real.
Real.
Yeah, because he used to be at Rouge Park with us. He used to make a lot of noise at that time for the speakers, and then they took it to a whole nother notch.
I'm gonna tell you,
and
something,
I think he had a wheel on his bike. He had a wheel on his bike. His bike was all done.
It looked like a 21, but he had a freaky design.
Yeah.
He had a freaky bike.
Dude, that's what I remember, man. That Harley boy thing, man. It really fucked the city up, man. As far as, you know, the transition from the crotch rockets.
Turning up.
Listen,
turning up.
It was so many people that was part of it,
man.
that we can't even. I still got footage on camcorder that I'm gonna have to get with you.
Okay.
To try to get it off of there. I used to ride around with a camera. I had to drill the hole in my damn helmet.
Yeah, he was the man. I mean,
put a camera up there.
Yeah.
We got all kind of footage.
Before they were doing the phones and stuff.
Oh man, we got to get that. You got to put that footage out there.
Yeah.
That's them the archives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Them the memories. Them the memories.
Yeah.
When he used to ride and Daryl would sit there with the camcorder and then take his hands off the wheels.
Yeah, all that crazy stuff.
And he'd ride up in front of us though, right? And as he rides past him, he's sitting there with turn around. No hands on the steering wheel. on handlebar, he'd turn around and he's shooting at us. You know what I'm saying? You know, the camera and stuff like that.
Still got all that footage.
No.
On tape. I got to get it off of there. I don't know how.
It's a lot of other entities that came from the Hardy Boys though. A lot of people don't. If you start naming who was Hardy Boys, you probably wouldn't even like. Jolene was a Hardy girl. It's like so many people was a part of that.
Yeah,
was in that club, dog, at that time, dog.
And that right now, you look at all the different clubs and people didn't start it. They started up, they went down, started up and went down, and most
a lot of it came from there.
95% of the people was at one point in time was a Harley Boy girl. If it wasn't up for one day,
For real, for sure.
If it wasn't up for one day,
For sure.
you know,
that's
what it was because it was the hottest thing at the time.
It was for sure.
It was the hottest thing at the
Man,
time.
so many, bro. So many, bro.
But it started when we went to that Chicago picnic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Byron, he definitely talk about it. He definitely talk about it.
That picnic was something that if you was there, you will always remember that picnic.
Yeah, it was some live picnics there. I mean, and Detroit used to migrate down there during that time. We was booking up
Yeah.
the
whole Red Roof Inn. And then we had to go to the Howard Johnson.
To the Howard Johnson.
We booked the whole hotel.
The whole hotel was
2 or 3
booked up.
hotels.
Right. If you came to that hotel, you wasn't.
Detroit had the whole hotel.
whole
and
hotel.
half of the other hotel. On the
Yeah.
other side.
And that's what we did. And anywhere we went, we just, like I said, we shut it down. You know, but see, one thing about it is that's when it's like everybody was together.
Okay.
You know, okay, so I'm gonna touch base.
When it was fun.
It was fun. It was really fun then because I mean we go out and everybody got along and it was fun.
Yeah,
you know,
we had some fun, some fun shit. Going.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun, man. And, you know, the way right now, where I look at it right now, and it's probably gonna touch come on to a subject that probably I don't know if y'all gonna get on this or not, but I'm gonna get on it.
All right, speak your mind. Speak your mind.
Because as the time went down, what I didn't like, I started seeing a lot of separation. You know what I'm saying? A lot of separation.
Yeah.
And when I got into it, it was just because it was fun and everybody was together. But as the years go down and people changing, I seen, egos, you know what I'm saying? So many different egos going on, and it was killing us, you know, and everybody going their separate ways. You know, I don't like this person, and a lot of backbiting, you know what I'm saying? And then it just changed it up to the point where things kind of shut down for a minute, and now we just got a whole totally different era right now of people, right now, you know, and it's to the point where I don't like it.
Okay.
You know, I don't like it. I don't come around as much because I don't like it. You know, it just because I seen what it done. It made people that was close together,
it did,
become enemies for no apparent reason. You know, and it just changed to the point where I kind of got a distaste for it because of that. But I can just remember coming out to everybody called each other, hey, man, we hanging out here, we hanging out there. Everybody slapping, then to the point where just nobody wasn't talking no more. Or everybody talking about this person, everybody talking about this person. And I never wanted to be a part of nothing like that.
Where you think that come from? And I'm not just speaking home.
Well,
just in general.
No,
egos, man.
It's
egos, bro.
It's egos. I'm gonna boil it down to egos. Everybody has. I mean, we men, and everybody had a certain ego. Everybody wanted to be that person.
The craziest thing about it is down. If you look back, the only solution was really just all it took was just some communication.
That's it.
That's it. And when you look back on it, it was growth. It's through growth. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, just communication.
Mm-hmm. And I preach this all the time to my new era guys now. It's like, if you got a problem with somebody,
you got to do it then.
You got to talk to that person.
Yeah.
Don't go, I got a problem with Heavy D. I'm going to go talk to Lavish about it. Heavy D. He did this and that. Heavy D don't even, Harley don't even know what's going on. I'm going to go talk to Paygo. He don't even know he did nothing. But I'm talking to everybody.
Except for the problem.
Except for him.
It didn't become a problem that it wasn't never really a problem.
Then what that does is, that eventually that's how you end up with cliques in the club.
That's true.
That's how you end up with cliques in the club.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because as soon as I find out that he don't like her or him, then I'm about to, I don't like him because of this.
Exactly.
And then you sitting there like, I don't like him because of that. Now we both eyeball him like, neither one of us like dog over there.
But how you gonna go and not like somebody because this person don't like somebody when you never even got a chance to meet that person, but you don't like them because they don't like them.
Exactly.
Because this person has said so much about them because of whatever issue they had.
Or they don't like the way you move.
And when you talk to a person and you actually communicate, you like, you ain't nothing like I thought you was, dog. Exactly. Especially if you're a stranger. You know, because it's been time even for me, man. I didn't had, I won't say problems because it wasn't a problem, but I just didn't have a reason to like an individual. Meaning like, I ain't got nothing to say to him. You got to say to me. Then when we chop it up and kick it, it's like, oh man, it's all good, man, all this time. But you know what? What helps out with that, and I don't know if that's in the beginning or after things fall apart. For me and what I see is when you get out on that road together.
Yeah.
Because when we beefing in the city and we get on that road,
That's crazy, ain't it?
it's crazy,
It's
but
one
that's how
unit.
it go. It's
the same way we go
it's
to
not
town.
Harley D, don't fuck with Pedro. And then when we out of town, it's Detroit as a unit. Damn, I ain't think Harley D and Pedro, look at them over there. And then
Get back.
you know, they kick it, and it's like, man, you know what, man, shit. I don't know, but he said something to me, and I said what's up to him and shit. It been good ever since.
Mm.
And then it was never even a problem.
It was never a problem.
It was
But
never a problem.
I can remember having a conversation with this person, and I ain't gonna mention his name. Half hour on the phone, how much he telling me that he didn't like me. So I'm actually talking to him. He said, "Man, you ain't never did nothing to me. You ain't never heard me say nothing about me." You know, but I did something about you. I don't like you.
No, he still don't like you.
So, but I
You go back
entertained.
to the way you move.
I entertained the conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but how do you respect something like that? I mean, man, right? You didn't told me I ain't never did nothing to you. Never said nothing about you. You never heard me say anything about you.
Right. Mind your own business. You ain't saying nothing.
But you don't like me. Okay. You know, that says a whole lot about you.
Yeah.
You know? Because now that tells me, you know what I'm saying, you following somebody else. Because you going back maybe what somebody else said.
Exactly.
Or you maybe I'm doing something. You know what somebody told me? They say, man, D, what it is that they can't do what you do.
The way you move.
No, some people they don't like that, and that's facts.
They can't stand it.
You know,
Mhm.
you can be the same guy that
Especially
works just
if you
as
mind your
hard as
business.
somebody else,
Mm.
but you doing and you look better than somebody else doing what you do. They won't like you
Hey, man,
because
your
of that.
business. You mind your business.
And you out the way.
You out the way.
You be the coolest chill guy. You be Harley D. I come out, I support, I'm chill, I speak, I leave. But it's that one guy over there. Man, I don't like him. Why? I don't know. I just don't like him.
Yeah,
He
that's what it is.
he
I
don't
don't
never
know.
say nothing. He just come and he
Who you
just
think he
walk
is?
around and then he go back to his bike.
Mm.
What's wrong with that?
Right.
It's
First of
just
all, I
it's
didn't even know nothing
it's
y'all
something.
did.
You know,
Yeah.
they won't admire him for being the guy that come out, or they might see Man D. I don't like him, man. Why? Because every 2 years, man, he got a different bike.
I heard that before.
That's what it is. Listen.
You ain't
That's what it
heard
is.
that before.
I heard that before. Seriously. Somebody the cat told me, he said, man, it's because you keep doing something different. But I ain't never asked nobody for no money to help me do nothing. You know, I just did it because because I liked it.
But it's a problem with somebody else. They don't like that.
I see that.
Goodness gracious, man. Somebody that told you that, man. Dang, that's that's funny, but we live in a world, and it's sad because as close as we are in the way that we're at all these events, places. I mean, there's only so many places that we can go now. I mean, look at it. We barely can go to Floods. Don't go to Belle Isle. Get pushed out of Fuddruckers parking lot. Parks closed, Ruiz Park closed. No one goes to Chandler Park. So when we are congregated together, it's so
Chased out of Royal Oak.
yeah, chased out of Royal Oak.
Chased out of Royal Oak.
Only can be at Lavish Bike Night once or twice a month because every other week, you know. But it's like we are so close to each other on these bikes in the same area, and it's so funny because you'll get that person that'll see all four of us. We sitting against the building. They'll walk right past me. What's up, Pedro? Walk past Man D. And then they'll go to Harley D and say, you know, what's up? And but that's what happens.
And it happens.
That's what happens. And
Instead of saying what's up to everybody.
right. And it's times with me, I'm at a point now where I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't have to like Pedro. And we don't have to see eye to eye. But just because of the guy that I am, I don't want Harley D to be questioning Pedro. Like, man, what's up with you and Lavish, man? What's up with that? So it's just easier. And I'm not being a sucker or a punk. It's just easier for me to just say, what's up?
Yeah. Yeah,
and keep it moving. I ain't holding the conversation, but it don't hurt for me to just whatever.
Exactly.
And,
You can always say what's up,
keep
but
it moving.
You ain't got to hold a conversation with nobody. I mean, you have the right to not want to deal with nobody. You have that right.
Right.
But I mean, I'm gonna speak. If I can speak to somebody that I don't know, why can I speak to somebody that I know?
Right.
Because if I'm walking past you, I don't care if it's in a grocery store or whatever it may be. If we make eye contact, I might give a head nod. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
To a stranger.
To a stranger.
Right.
To a stranger or somebody that I know that don't even like me. It's times that I sit around. I know people don't like me, but it don't bother me. But you got to be comfortable, and you got to be that type of person and not let it bother you.
You sound like me.
That's me. It don't bother me, man.
I ain't lose no sleep.
I ain't lose no sleep.
Sleep like a baby.
I might even laugh because I'm like, I know he don't like me. I thought you and him, mate. I know he don't like me, but I'd say what's up to him. He looks stupid, not me. It don't make me feel weak. It don't make me feel weak as a guy to say what's up. Keep it moving. You know, it don't, man. But it's sad.
I think that because Detroit is so deep into this, you know how when people go to Memphis and they draw these big crowds down in Memphis, or where else they go, where's the big crowd at? Atlanta. If Detroit is so deep because we show it everywhere. And I made this one statement before, and it might have been on Facebook, just thinking about it. It's so many of us here, if we was to stick together and not be divided while we here, we can be throwing some of the biggest events, bigger than anybody throwing them anywhere. Maybe LA, maybe not LA, because people like LA. But outside of LA, Detroit could have been one of the biggest cities doing some events. It's just when we get here, we seem to be so divided when we here. But when we out of town, we show up.
Oh yeah, we show up.
But
we show out.
We don't show up here because it's everybody's like, okay, I want to do I don't know if that's a Detroit thing or not.
I don't know. That's a question mark. I can't answer that. It's interesting to put in perspective. You know, I don't think that nobody really pulled the trigger.
Correct. No one has.
That's what I think. But
you're correct. No one has pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
No one
Right. That's where I'm getting at.
No one has pulled the trigger. You know why? Because we divided here. So it's kind of hard to pull that trigger. Because if you want to come out and do something, I'm not going to Lavish shit. No, I ain't going to Lavish shit, man. You know, fuck Lavish. You know what I'm saying? He doing towing and he making too much this and that. I ain't going in his stuff.
People do say that.
I'm not going to support his stuff because of what he's doing. Not because of the man, Lavish. You know what I'm saying? Because he's doing stuff, you know, he may be doing some great things and it's just hatred. It's a lot of hatred. And that's why I think that we can't because of the hatred. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate on this person because of what he doing. You know, shit, we from Detroit. Let's stick together as we did when we were out in Memphis or we were down in Atlanta.
It was a whole lot more new people.
It's a lot, but before we get too far off, I gotta say the shameless plug since you brought it up. You know, as far as why don't Detroit do something? September 1st to the 3rd, Lavish Biker Bash is coming. 3-day weekend in Detroit.
Yes,
everybody is welcome. It's not a division thing. MC, OMC, independent riders. We got a meet and greet. We got a day party at the Harley dealership. We got a night party over at the rescue mission on Forest and Mount Elliott. And we got a brunch. Sunday morning brunch.
How many days?
It's the weekend. From Friday, a 3-day weekend.
So you pulling the trigger.
So I'm pulling the trigger. Right. I got the trigger, and I constantly talk about it, so I'm putting it out there. Man, I pulled the trigger. Right. So, you know, we doing something like the South and the other places that we go, man. Now, we just got to make sure I get the support to bring it back to Detroit, and then hopefully when they see what's going on in Detroit, other people in Detroit could pull that same trigger. And now they got multiple reasons to come to Detroit. Exactly. But right now, I pulled that trigger. So we got something coming in Detroit, man. I'm putting together real swell and well. So man, D, man, help me make sure them people don't talk about Lavish got them tow trucks and he don't need no money. We got to still get them up here for the support. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, man. Since you brought it up.
Okay.
I was gonna do it at the end of the show. I'm still gonna do it,
Bring
but
it up again
I
show.
gotta bring it up, man. But what were you gonna say? Did you forget? I ain't throw you off track.
No, I'm good. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, but it was something you was gonna say. I forgot what it was.
Who, me?
It was something man D wasn't done saying before I brung up the shameless plug
As
about
far
putting
as-
stuff together.
As far as
and-
people hating on each other.
Yeah, people hating on each other and all that.
That's the reason why I feel that's the reason why that we can't put nothing big here, because you know it's too much hatred going on in between people, and it's no singling out nobody. It seems like that's how Detroit is. It's like for instance, if you go down to the South and it's more hospitality there, right? I'm gonna take that like it's hospitality, but up in Detroit we feel like it's
Nigga won't even speak to you.
don't even speak to you.
No, for real.
You know, and
No, I know.
Exactly.
I know it.
I mean, and if you see somebody and you just walking past them and you speak, they gonna look at you like, who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they definitely listen.
Yeah, who the fuck is
That's
you?
true.
Why you speaking to me?
Detroit got a mentality, and what you said is true because
They do that shit with everybody. Though.
correct, they do it with everybody.
Especially a celebrity.
When they go out of town, when out of towners come here, they like, man, y'all ain't friendly out there. Man.
Right.
I laugh because it's my habitat. So it's
We
it's
used to
normal.
that.
We,
It's
right.
the
So we
norm.
we don't
Right.
see it. And the first time I went to Mississippi, I remember this was probably about 2002. I went down there and there was a guy. He was in an old school car. Now, mind you, old school car here, you got that look, you got that grim. So I got that grim. And I remember, man, being down there looking at him, and he was looking at me, and he just waved. Like it just fucked me up, man. Because I'm not used to that.
Yeah, exactly.
He looking like, dog, where you from? Type of looking. Then he literally
He
waved.
threw it
and
up, man. He threw it
I'm
up.
like,
Yeah.
okay. And it just fucked me up, man. You know, and then even still to this day, when you go to different cities, how welcoming they are and how friendly they are. And sometimes even me, and I'll speak on me before I say they or us, even when I go to different places, I gotta adjust and detone myself down and say, man, I'm not in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out here. Let me readjust because these people here, everywhere, they, hey, what's going on? Friendly, they talk. You know, here they'll stare at you like, who he talking to me? You know, so no, I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. When you talk about how Detroit people are, I'm gonna just say up north, Michigan. I don't want to just put it out there, just Detroit. I want to say Southfield too. I want to just say
Well,
Southfield
is Detroit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't want to
right.
You know, I got to
just
put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, the metropolitan area.
Yeah, Southfield, Detroit.
I want them to just think that my city is horrible.
No, we ain't horrible. Oh no,
It's not horrible.
It
I just
definitely
like I
ain't
said,
horrible.
you know, we got a whole lot of new people on the set. People really don't know each other,
That is true.
Yeah.
you know. So it's like, you know, once they get to know you, you know, like when I go out now, I go out every now and then, and a whole lot of new guys looking at me like, who is this nigga? And I'd be like, who is you?
No, but you know what? It's not just you. You got to keep in mind, we're old.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally old when it comes down to being in the bike world. We were riding when people said motorcycles were still dangerous. And why are you riding on a motorcycle? And I'm speaking from me being started in 99. In 99, when I started on the crotch rocket, people were still scared. Even a lot of the people that's riding now, they wasn't riding motorcycles back then.
When
They
did you
was
start? When did you start riding?
in 99.
99. How old were you?
99, I was 19.
Okay,
I started at 19, 18,
When did
No,
you
I
start?
19.
I was riding from a kid. I always had little trail
Mini
bikes.
bikes.
No, I mean if we go back
was
then,
it.
I had
But
mini
my
bikes and
first-
scooters,
my
but
first,
motorcycles 99.
Motorcycle, probably when I came home, no, 90, like 94, 95.
That's
Man,
Crotch
me.
rocket.
The first bike I rode was my brother's bike. He had his bike. He had the bike in '94, and he think he rode it for 2 weeks. Had an accident on it, and then it went to the shop. He went away. I got it out the shop, and then I started riding it. '94. But before then, I was riding scooters and sprees.
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
I was
14,
right,
14
right.
14 years old. I got my first moped, Honda Urban Express.
I had a spree, red.
And then see, I had, that's what I had. I had the white.
I had the mini bike with the Tecumseh.
I had a white spree
with the Tecumseh.
I had a Tecumseh motor too, 3.5.
I
started when I was 8, 1972.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere around there.
See, my brother had the red spree. I had the white spree.
Yeah, no, but you know, we've been riding for a while. So yeah, people look at us, and I want to say us because I don't come out as much as I used to because it's not fresh, it's not new to me anymore. When we was first on the scene, whenever we started riding, and for me, I say 99, I was on my bike every day, all day.
Oh, for sure.
I ain't know nothing else. And I started just like Mad D. A guy around the corner had a motorcycle. He needed to wear my helmet because he got his bike from his cousin. I had a helmet. And I told him, I said, listen, man, I got a helmet, but you got to let me ride your motorcycle. I didn't even know how to ride the bike. I didn't. But he knew I had a helmet because I had the mini bikes and I had the scooters and I had the go-karts. And I got on there. I'm turning the key. I'm hitting the button. I'm like, man, this bike ain't starting. Something wrong with this bike. I don't know nothing about grabbing the clutch, hitting the button. He like, no, man, you gotta do this. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this bike a little different, not knowing that they all the same. And I rode his bike to the corner. He told me, when you get to the corner, man, don't turn the handlebar, just lean around the corner. I got to the corner, I slowed up, and I'm thinking, I'm like, man, shit, he told me don't turn the handlebar. Well, shit, how the fuck I want to turn? And I didn't lean, I turned the handlebar, bike fell over on the side. And I'm like, he at my house in the driveway. And I'm like, damn, all right. Energy, adrenaline, you know, kicked in. I threw the bike up, got on there, tried to take off. Bike kept cutting off. I didn't know, you know, about the gears. Then I took off and it, and I'm like, oh man, I can do this. And he crashed and I rode the bike the rest of 99. 2000 came, he like, hey man, I'm about to sell the bike. And I'm like, you about to sell the bike? So now I'm not about to, you know, I'm about to be without a bike, but it was already in me. 2000, I had Jig 750. I was on the Shrad 750. That's what I started on, the Shrad 750. 2000, I went to the Jigsaw 750. They changed the body style. In 2001, I had a 750 in the beginning, and then the 1000 came out, and everybody was talking about that Jigsaw 1000. Oh man, this is this, and I had that Jigsaw 1000. But I started like Man D from a guy who crashed, and I picked the bike up and, you know, carried on. That's how I started. But we're old. When you say you come out, of course, these
you
people
can
don't
kind
know
of
you.
tell when I be just chilling. You can kind of tell them guys to just get them bikes though.
Oh, they be so
riding
excited, man.
Any weather. Like, I don't ride in this kind of weather like this. I just don't. I wait till the season gets started.
Because you done did it. You done did it. You done did it already.
did it,
My
right.
cutoff, it ain't that anxious right now.
I hate to say it, my cutoff is 60. When I see 60, I'm done. Unless I'm out there.
Man,
If I'm out there,
60.
I deal with it. But 60
No,
and
I'm talking
above,
about like, period, like when the sun come out and it's 30 degrees and, you know, ain't no snow on the ground, nothing. And the guys that just got them, they want to ride.
Oh yeah, they want to ride. I remember I got my Urban Express for Christmas, and I rode it that next day. You talking about this one Christmas with snow outside, cold, and everything. I'm riding them down the drive. Urban Express, all right. So when you first get something, yeah, you gonna ride. I don't care how cold it is. You know what I'm saying? It don't even matter.
No, it don't matter, man, because we done been there, because I literally was riding, man. It didn't matter if it was cold. I was warm. I was cool. It didn't matter if I was freezing.
Man, I don't come out right now until after June 15, 16, 17, July 4th, something like that, right? when I come out, man, I'm making sure it's warm outside, right? I ain't messing around.
Man, I do come out, but I don't ride like that. Like I would joyride the neighborhood real quick. I might go from here to the car wash, but with my job, I see so much, and these roads don't be right. And these cars ain't used to seeing these bikes, and then the potholes is still out here, And every year you gotta learn that street again. Because that pothole that wasn't there last year, it's there this year. And you don't know how deep it is until after they fix them roads, man. That make a big difference too.
I've been preaching this to everybody every single year, and everybody don't want to hear me say it. Because I say, man, you get so many things that happen in April. You get out there right now, next month coming in April, it's springtime, right? Wait till that weather go up to 60 degrees. And you're going to see everybody out here riding April. Now, you know those potholes still out there.
They still out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So everybody get out here and ride in April, right? And I can just remember, that
I remember
April comes, it's like you start hearing so many different things. I remember I got a call about 4 people went down in one day in April.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody, man, I mean, leave them bikes alone for a minute. Because what's happening is you get out there and you're riding in April. By the time June comes, when it's really good, your bike tow up or you tow up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't even ride.
You killed your whole summer.
Yeah.
You done killed your whole summer in April. Trying to ride in April. And then I got this thing about Labor Day. I ain't riding after Labor Day. I figure if I just made it all the way to Labor Day, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good to go. I can wait till I'm gonna wait till next year to ride. Because let me tell you, how many people that got hurt after Labor Day? A lot of people got hurt after Labor Day. Now, that's just me. And people gonna ride as long as it's 70 degrees. I mean, we done been out there, and I remember that one January, it got to be 65 degrees, and people was out there riding.
Yeah.
So they gonna ride. And I'm knocking. That's just me. And I got that thing right there, man. After Labor Day, I'm done. It's gone. It's up.
No, I'm probably like a October, November guy. Yeah, I'm about October, November. Cause that week of Halloween, for whatever odd reason, is always seem to have that nice day.
Yeah, you gonna get it. You gonna get that in there.
And I get that edge, and it's always you notice once you hit October, November, every week it's like, come on, man, this is gonna be the last nice day.
Yeah.
And we gotta ride. The next week is another nice day. Come on, we gotta ride. Just the last nice day.
Oh no, I got it, and I feel everybody want to get out there and ride, but I guess I didn't see so much. Over the time when people getting hurt. To the point where it's just like, you know what?
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah, man. If I make it to a certain time, I'm safe.
Hold on, man. D, we got Ja chimed in. She said we got to ride on May 7th, brother.
Oh, well, yeah, we gonna see. That's a special occasion. But we know about that. That's a special occasion. So I'm gonna get everything ready to ride on that day. But when I ride, I'm going right back up.
Right.
It's gonna ride that day, and then after that, I'm going straight home. Ain't no hanging out after that. I'm going to do that ride, and then I'm going to take it back home, and I'm going to put it back up, and then we're going to wait till maybe somewhere middle of June or something like that. July, something like that. It's going to be after Memorial Day. I know that. Maybe before. But for that special occasion, because I want to put it together, I'm going to do it. Just because of Jaja, my hero.
That's what's up. Go ahead. While we talking about that ride, go ahead and share with everybody about this ride.
Well, this ride here is Jaja called me about the ride, and I think some people thought that I put it together, but I had nothing to do with putting it together. She wanted to put it together because it's something that she do every year for her father. So she called me and asked me how do I feel about putting that ride together for my brother, and I was honored. So I mean, really, I was honored, and just for my brother getting out here, coming home. And just thinking about, I remember him saying, man, I don't want to ride no bike. Because that bike that he was riding, I got that bike for him, and he wasn't even home yet. I didn't know when he was coming home, but I remember sitting up there with him, and we was talking, and I said, you know what, man, I'm finna go buy a bike. I ain't had nothing to do, but it's going to be for you. And he came home, and he seen it. He said, man, I don't want to ride. I don't want to ride, And then he got on then he started riding my little deluxe. And then he started liking it. And then I showed him how to ride that one. And he liked it more. And then I ain't hanging out with everybody. Next thing you know, he hanging out with everybody. Everything he said he wasn't going to do.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something.
That 5,000 miles in 2 weeks.
Hey, that motorcycle turn you out now.
So 5,000 in 2 weeks.
That motherfucker break up your home, turn your ass out.
Yeah.
That motorcycle, dog.
So back on that, when she said that, I was honored. I mean, I was touched by it. So I said, well, you know what? Let me see what I can do. With my connection at the dealership. So let me see what I can do. So I said more than like, let me see if I can supply the refreshments for everybody. So I called my contacts up there, and pretty much when I called them, I mean, they literally like geeked about it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So we can start our ride wherever you want to start it at, but we can end up there, and I'll make sure that we got all the refreshments, you know what I'm saying, the food and stuff like that. So when everybody, finish riding. So I try to contribute that right there. So I'm just honored that she even wanted to do that. I'm honored.
Where we're going to end up at?
What's up?
Motor City.
Okay, Motor City Harley.
Yeah, Motor City. So
Farmington
I was honored.
Hills.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I was honored.
No, that's cool, man. You're gonna end up at Motor City Harley.
Well, here's the thing.
Motor City Harley.
Okay, listen. Let me tell you something about that, though, right?
I'm just saying, bro.
Motor City. Okay. These
Let's
guys was around when we did that. Who put the biggest bike show? I mean, at dealership on that they ever had? Blacks. That was the Harley Boys. 2008.
Motor City.
At Motor City. Motor City spent money. We had photo shoots. We was on the radio. This one, Reggie Red used to be a part of the group too, right?
What? He used to ride?
Reggie Red was a Harley boy.
Yeah, Harley boy. I told you everybody was a Harley
Reggie
boy.
Reg.
Reggie Red was a Harley boy.
Oh, man.
Dog, there's a lot of people, dog. That you
don't
I didn't know that.
Reggie
put it like
Red-
He ain't never even told me that.
Reggie Red was one of the first.
Yeah, Reggie Red was a Harley boy, and when we did our first picnic, it wasn't a picnic, but we did a bike fest up there.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing that they ever had up at that
Bike
dealership.
show. I got that on video.
We had
Right.
Got it on video, Lavish.
we had photo
Dang,
shoots.
2008.
Yeah,
Okay.
dog, photo shoot.
We had photo shoots up there. We did
Bike show.
we had the regional people come down from Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying, talking to us.
Prize giveaway.
We had everything.
Dino
So,
shootout.
yeah, Dino
Yeah.
shootout. We had it all.
Oh.
I wasn't nowhere around.
We was live
I
on
mean,
the
I was
radio.
around, but I wasn't,
Live on the radio.
in that circle.
Yeah,
I wasn't in that circle.
We live
The
on the
kid
radio.
won the Dino shootout with a 95 cubic inch.
No stuff.
100. I think he had 105 or 106 horsepower out of 95.
Yeah, but that was the first dealership that gave us action. You got to remember.
Yeah, they
All the
gave us-
dealerships wasn't dealing with black folks. But that was the first dealership that gave us action.
Yeah.
So I stuck with them.
You stuck with him.
I stuck with them.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
But we could have went somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Okay.
Cause I know it's I know that's your spot. And I got my spot.
Oh yeah, you got your spot.
I got my spot.
Also wasn't even there then.
But that's why.
No, they wasn't there. They wasn't
yeah,
there. Though.
exactly. They
The
wasn't there.
quietest kept the people you dealing with was Motor City.
I know, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The people you dealing with
No.
now was Motor
Yeah.
City back then.
Man, we used to go to them dealerships and act so bad, man.
Yeah, they did it. So I stuck with them.
Hey man, you know what? When you look at it, man, we all had our dealership or got our dealership. When you look at Pedro dealership,
Pedro did with Wolverine.
right?
Yeah.
I deal with Arsenal, so we are all influential with our particular dealership, and we all got a purpose
But
with the support.
Yeah, Wolverine
from,
gave us love. I don't know what
So
the
they
relationship
did.
is. Nah,
Yeah.
Wolverine gave us a lot of love. I mean, we had.
We had two at one time.
Yeah, we had
At one
brunches
time.
up there. We had brunches up there. You know,
when they did the fashion show, was
yeah,
that
fashion show. Yeah,
that was the Harley Boys
That was
at
Harley
that
Boys
time?
Yes, it was.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we just kept doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a lot of that education,
Oh.
because I'm learning new stuff.
Whole lot was going on.
Right.
And I'm
You
gonna
know
tell
what I'm
you,
saying? I'm learning new stuff.
What other groups at the time? There was no other groups that I know of that was fucking with the dealerships like that. There was no other clubs like that.
No, because I don't think nobody. I think only
Dog, we was going
dealerships
so hard at
was
the
bike
dealership.
washes at crotch rock place. But as far as dealerships on that scale, yeah.
No, I'm talking about even. I can't speak on LA. I don't know nothing about LA. But I'm
Talking about
thinking.
here.
I'm
Talking
talking
about
about.
Detroit.
There was no other. Blacks that was just dealing. Clubs that had sponsorship through the dealerships.
Dang. That's big.
They actually did.
Listen, bro. I ain't
I
even
mean, it's
talking
because it's
shit.
big now.
Listen though. And another thing was, and cut the check. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah.
Not one time. Every month.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see this. Yeah, no, that's big. So
We're showing love, man.
if y'all listening and y'all were around, or even if you wasn't, you picking up on some of this history, because everything that happened is dated. We always got to go back to some type of origin.
We got receipts too.
Oh yeah.
And video.
Dog, video, man.
We got video footage.
We used to go to America, remember?
Yeah, America. Oh man,
American,
let me tell you
what's
something.
that?
Dog.
American Harley Davidson in Ann Arbor.
In Ann Arbor, dog.
We used to
Okay.
be out. We used to roll out there on Sunday.
That was a Sunday trip.
Yeah, Sundays.
On Sunday, we
Shut
meet
that
up.
shit down.
30, 40. They had 1995 oil change.
Yeah.
We get there at
1995.
11 o'clock. We wouldn't leave at 6. They changing oil all day.
No shit.
And gave us free food, free drinks.
American Harley Davidson.
But they spent money. We spent money when you bought shit. They sold motorcycles on Sunday.
Right.
Okay, man. D, when you got an anniversary party coming up?
Anniversary party is April. I'm saying August. April 22nd. 15 years, man.
Are you gonna be on your motorcycle?
No. No. Well, you know what?
I just had to ask that.
And my thing with everybody, really, when you do a party, and Pedro would know, when y'all club is doing something like you working.
You ain't having no
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
It's a job.
It's a
Yeah.
job at that time, though, right? Not stressed that it's a job. You working. So
Right.
everybody, it's like all hands on deck.
Exactly.
And it's like it pretty much with me. I guess me older right now, and I got a younger people right now. You know what I'm saying? Groupman that's doing everything. I don't really do a whole lot no more, so I ain't gonna take a lot of credit. You know what I'm saying? My club now, they pretty much doing everything right now. They told me the old man go sit down somewhere, right? And all I do is I just sit back and watch. You know what I'm saying? If something ain't going right, I just make mention to it. Based off of our mistakes that we made. So if I see them
Right.
doing something, hey man, we done made this mistake already. Don't do this. We can't be having an event and everybody getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
now you ain't,
You ain't focused.
You ain't focused at all. We got money dealing with money, so we gotta deal with that later on. So I don't do a whole lot. So I give credit, to my club right now for putting everything together. How they put it together, because you would ask me the date and I'd be looking like, hold on, let me look at my calendar, right? So before you asked, I knew it was gonna come up. So I had to go in here and look. You know what I'm saying? You ain't see it though, right? I had to go in here and look and see when is the date. Right now.
No. Where is it at?
It's at it's over on 7 Mile near Outer Drive. Over there, but it's a Family Dollar over there. But it's
Oh, okay. I know where you talk. I
7 Mile.
know where you
It's-
talking
it's
about.
a-
7 Mile and out of drive in
Yeah.
that same parking lot.
yeah.
I don't know the
Yeah.
name of the place, but I know where you're talking about.
I ain't never been up there, so I've never been up there. So I ran past there, so I still ain't never seen the place really, but I just know the area. So,
Okay.
But it's it's 15 years, man. It's like it's been a long time, and I can say, man, I can just remember going back to when we was sitting around up in Big E office, and everybody sitting around on the floor, sitting around trying to put this together. This has been 15 years, man. That's a long time.
Yeah.
It's a long time. And I'm gonna tell you though, right? I'm surprised that I made it this long with it.
Why you say that?
When you're dealing with clubs, man, you have so much stuff going on, right? So much stuff going on to the point where you got people say, I'm not finna deal with this no more, right? I ain't messing with this stuff no more, man. But do you know why I'm still with this?
Because you love it.
I love it, but I can remember somebody grabbed me and told me, keep it going. You know who told that? You know who told me that?
Who told you that?
Harley D.
Harley D.
at Pop's funeral. He hugged me. He said, man, don't let it stop. Keep it going. And that stays in my head right now. If he wouldn't have told me that, I don't know if I would have kept it going or not. Because you deal with a lot. When you're dealing with a bunch of grown people,
Yeah.
and you're trying to
All these personalities.
all the different personalities and the stuff going on, it's kind of like it takes a toll on you. And to the point where, you know what, man, I'm not getting paid for this mess. I ain't making no money from this. It's easy to just walk away and leave it alone. But I guess with me not being a quitter, and that in my head, it's like, I don't know if that was Pops speaking through him or what, but I just kept it together. Because Pops told me some things. Like I said, I learned a lot between Harley D and Pops. That's Mr. Jones.
Pops is a rowdy boy too.
Yeah, Mr. Jones.
No stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Jones.
dog.
Man, why you ain't mention that too?
Yeah,
Stop.
Mr. Jones.
Dog.
So we call him Pops, but Mr. Jones on one of our trips,
man.
No stuff.
he told me. He said, "Mel, he told me some words, told me some stuff about this bike stuff, and it's almost like he warned me about it. He definitely warned me about it, and I listened. And everything when he was telling me, I seen it. You know, I seen it. So he knew what he was talking about. But,
Man, that's what's up.
But I decided just to keep it holding. I told everybody, I'll be the last one to close the door, and I might not even close it. If everybody gone, I'm still gonna hold the door open.
Still gonna hold it open, man. That's what I'm talking about. It's in your heart. It's in your heart. Now, Harley D, man, let's talk about your pops. I don't want to go. It might be a touchy subject with you, but who was riding first, man? You or your dad?
My dad rode. My dad was early 70s.
Oh, okay.
CD 750, K2,
Rad too.
Rad,
And a bust your ass.
chopper.
And a bust your ass.
Coffin
You pull up
tank.
next to him.
You know about the coffin tank?
Yeah.
He had one of them, and then he switched over to the Gold Wing, and Gold Wing 1000 was the hottest thing. But the KZ 900, then the Gold Wing came along in 75. I got pictures on riding that Gold Wing at 8.
So he was already. So you was already
my
getting
dad,
your start from already. watching your father and being molded from him.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad,
okay.
then he took a break, and then my mom got sick, and then my mom was telling me, get your dad back into something that he loved, because she had cancer.
Okay.
And so when I asked her, what did he like? She said, he loved them motorcycles.
Now, now listen. Speak up a little bit. Somebody said speak up. So now you getting your dad back into this motorcycle stuff.
Man.
Were you already you were in it at this point? Or was it something that y'all both joined?
I mentioned it to him like, yo, Dad, let's go get some bikes.
Okay.
And then went to the Harley dealer, and that's how we ended up. Oh, actually, 1994. We had that 94 Softail. And my dad ended up, when my mom died in 98, we had that Softail, and I was riding a Honda Shadow 750. My dad had the Softail.
Okay.
And then he wasn't really riding. It was just more like, sitting in the garage. But she's like, get him back on that bike. And so when she passed, that's when I started saying, hey, Dad, we got to go to Daytona. We got to do this. We got to do that. Everything I wanted to do, let's go.
When he was there.
Yep. And
Now, that got to be a wonderful feeling, man. I mean, because I don't have a dad that I could do that to, man. And to share that experience with your dad and to actually go places and ride a motorcycle and that's both of y'all hobbies.
I'm going to tell you this, man. I was getting pissed because he was everybody else's daddy and wasn't mine.
Yeah. Mr. Jones was a hell
He
of a
was
dude,
everybody's
dog.
daddy. I was like, damn.
Talk that shit.
Did he?
Man, talk that shit,
Coolest
too.
cat, man.
No stuff.
I was like,
Coolest cat, man.
Cool
Coolest
dude.
cat.
Humble as hell.
Anybody that know him, man, they got they got good
House
things to
down in
say.
Florida. We go down there to the house in Florida. Man, Mr. Jones is a bad motherfucker, dog.
Hey, that's the first time. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Mr. Jones is a bad
This is-
motherfucker, dog.
I had when I went down there, right? This is why I actually got my bikes in my basement right now. I went down to Florida. Who goes up, pull up in the house, and there's a chopper sitting right up in the living room, staged in the living room, right in the foyer. Who does that?
Yeah, it's bike in the house.
In the
man.
house.
Yeah, dog.
When you walk in the door.
Right, you walk in the door.
Right there.
The chopper sitting right there in the door. Do that. I got to do that to the point where my house now, I got my bike staged down, in the basement. You know what I'm saying? I got to do that. So I don't know. Maybe
We had good times though.
Yeah, we had a lot of good
Yeah,
times
man.
though, man. We had a lot of good.
We still go to Florida. I still go to
To
Florida.
the
I just
Keys,
came back.
all that shit.
But
man.
this cat made me
People
mad.
talking about the Keys.
Let me
I be
tell you
like,
something. I remember that one trip we drive that Lincoln down there, taking that Lincoln down there, that brown Lincoln. Forgot what year it was. And
88.
This joke gonna make me, you know, I'm driving, right? I'm driving. His turn to drive, right? He get in there for a half hour. Oh man, I'm sweating. I gotta get back.
Lavish, you know how you do it when you don't want to drive.
Yeah, you got every excuse.
Okay, now I'm thinking I'm finna rest. He got me. I'm jumped back in right in the car, and I gotta drive. Then they drove the whole way down to Florida, man. No, thank you.
I just pulled that one on Martin. Martin Green, you know it's a habit.
No, man. I mean, that's cool, man. I enjoyed these stories, man, because a lot of this stuff, you know, I didn't know. And, you know, people that's listening, they like to hear stories. I mean, especially good stories, funny stories, memorable stories, stories that relate back to history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those. I mean, that's what you want to hear. That's good times. That's like, man, how can we relive that kind of stuff, man? And have that same type of fun, those same type of bondable memories. That's what I want to do. Have memories. Talk about this stuff, man, 5 years from now. Laugh about what happened, man. What's some of the funniest road trip stories, man, that you two can share, man? That's one of those stories that you constantly talk about whenever you're with whoever it is.
I know one though, man. The first time I got caught in the rain, and we was in Chicago, and we was sitting there, right? And
you remember that?
We seen the rain coming, though, right? But we didn't take off fast enough.
Chicago Harley dealer.
It rained so hard.
When we took off, it rained so hard, man. You could not. Now we wasn't wearing helmets at the time. Now you know if you ride it right now, if you got a helmet on a full face, you can ride through the rain. But here we got to Chicago and we didn't have to wear no helmets because every time we leave here and we cross over to Indiana, as soon as we get to Indiana, we pull over to the side, take our helmets off, right? But this particular man, we at the dealership and we would have to be maybe 15 minutes away from the hotel.
15 minutes.
That rain came down, and man, everybody riding. You can't even see in front of you. I think when I was riding, I was following this joke. All I see,
following lights.
Yeah,
all you see was the lights.
That's it.
He was in front of me, and all I can see is a light. And I don't know. I can't see nothing on the side of the road.
I only seen rain like that down south.
And it rained so
I'm
hard.
talking about like water like this on the road.
So at the time, if you had a phone in your pocket, it was gone.
It was gone.
It was gone. So everybody. I mean, you was soaking wet. Everybody lost phones. You know all that, man. So that's one of my more memorable times down there, man, when that rain came.
Man, what about you, Harley D, man? What's one of your most memorable rides, man?
I got so many.
Hey, we listening. I mean, we enjoying it. We enjoying hearing these memories, man.
Because when we rode to Cleveland and we rode 120 the whole way.
The whole ride.
The whole way.
We rode literally.
Yeah.
The whole ride.
Yeah, the 120 the whole way.
Do you know who's up in the front?
The whole
second,
way.
Twin Money. She was on the Sportster.
Yeah.
She was on the Sportster.
She's on the Sportster. And she was up there. She was doing about 100-something on that Sportster.
Lavish.
Yeah.
Ohio State Police.
Yeah.
Didn't even come out.
How many of it?
15, 20 of us. Going to Cleveland.
I just bought that street glide, and I'm sitting there. I got it all the way down.
And you know what that was? I raced. They remember I was racing Derek Munson the whole ride.
Yeah,
that's what old school. He
was
old school rode all the way to Cleveland, turned around and
ruin.
won.
One of them Honda ruins.
Who he went home?
Old school rode all the way to Cleveland, turned around and went
back home.
He was supposed to be riding us to the state line, and before he knew it, he was in Cleveland. One exit from Cleveland, he was like, "Damn." He turned around and went back home.
You talking about Pretty Butch?
Yeah, Butch.
Yeah, Pretty Butch.
Dang.
Little Butch.
I gotta see his
Rough
face.
Rider.
Yeah.
When he rough
all
rider.
the Pearsons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember him. What year was this Cleveland trip you talking about?
That was in October of 2008.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was October.
Okay, I know who you're talking about, though.
I had just got the street glide that time.
Like, y'all got me all the way here, and I gotta turn around and go back.
And I was in the back riding because I couldn't see because the glasses. I had the glasses on, and my glasses kept flickering. So I'm trying to hold my glass because I didn't have the right windshield. We learned later about the windshields you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to hold my glasses because they flickering. So I'm trying to hold my glasses and ride at the same time.
No helmet.
No helmet on.
No helmet.
As soon as we get to the Ohio State line, everybody got to pull over and take the helmet off.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I remember that. We used to do that.
Little half helmet, put it in the saddlebag, and it was on and popping from there.
Right.
Hey, we got Lamont say talk about the ride to Cali where you had to tow Skunk with his bike. You told somebody, you told him with your bike?
Yeah, I had to. Shit, we was out in the middle of, I think it was Oklahoma somewhere. No, Temecula, New Mexico. That's where we was at. And it was nothing on either side. And I had a tow strap. They was asking me like, yo, man, why you got a tow strap? Why you got all this shit? I'm like, dude, I said, you know where we going? So
That's one thing. That boy, he be prepared though.
I had a big, the big thick yellow toe strap.
Right.
I had it in the bottom of my saddlebag just in case.
Just in case. Just for the heck of it.
This guy got everything. That's what I'm trying to tell
Yes,
you. If you roll with him,
yes,
you
man.
gonna learn. If you ride in the trailer, you gonna know to take your wood block with you.
A wood block, you know
a
that?
wood block. You know what I'm saying? Just in case
Yeah.
if you ever get a flat, you won't be out there jacking because you got 4 tires on it. So you're gonna pull up on that wood block and you can change the tire. You know what I'm saying? He had the tools. Anything you needed, you would think he had it. He had it. Before we had phone GPS, he had the GPS because he be leading.
Yeah,
So
Garmin. What was
yeah,
that?
Yeah, Garmin. Yeah, I remember those.
Garmin GPS, though, right? He'll pull up on me.
All the gadgets.
He got all the gadgets.
But we had to tow Skunk about 15 miles off the road.
So how'd you do that?
I hooked it to the sissy pole and went between the forks to the frame. Let's go. Munson led the way. And we was 15 miles an hour for about 15, 20 miles at least. Or more. It took about an hour, 2 hours. And when we had to do a turnaround, maybe about 6 miles, you can't just turn around. So we had to go about 6 miles down. We did a little turnaround. And that was a disaster. And then we had to go back. And we ended up in Temecula, New Mexico. And we was there all day.
No stuff.
All day from shit. This happened at about 8 in the morning. We got there about noon. We was there from noon all the way till midnight. And the tow truck came at midnight. Then we had to ride 150 miles to Albuquerque. Steve Soul Food, he was with us.
He lost his bag, right?
Lost his saddlebag. Yep.
No stuff, man. That's funny, man. Yeah. Say y'all almost got ran over by some big trucks.
Yeah, a bunch of times. We was going 30, 35 miles an hour on the interstate. They running 80, 90.
Oh man, those are memories.
Yeah.
I mean, you can laugh about
His
that.
rear cylinder had went out.
Man. And did that bring y'all closer? Or were y'all already?
I mean, we was trying to form a club.
And I mean, I say that because again, we talk about get on that highway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got on that highway, you making all those memories, those
we got
laughable memories and those stories where you sitting there like, man, you remember that time we went through Arkansas, man, and this happened, or we pulled up at the gas station here and that happened, man. I mean, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, man. I love the stories, man.
I remember a time when we wasn't too far. What was we at? Was we on 75 or whatever? But Mike was always breaking down. He was always doing that engine work, though, right?
Yeah,
breaking down. And I can remember the one time when Big E had to leave and go get his pickup truck, and he had the Road King, and we actually all lifted his Road King up. We ain't had nothing. We lifted
Everybody
it up
grabbed the corner
and picked it up and put it on the back of the pickup. Dang.
We had a couple incidents like that.
Well, y'all pick the bike up?
Pick the bike up?
Yeah.
The Harley.
The Harley. We actually picked the Harley up, a Road King. We picked it up.
Everybody had a corner. It was like four like you pick up a casket.
Yeah.
It was 4 people on this side, 4 on that side.
Oh, man.
No, we was leaving Pontiac at the time. We were leaving Arts Beast and East.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, man, that's cool, man. Look, we have been here an hour and a half going home, man. Hold on. Steve got mad about Bigfoot. Who's Bigfoot?
Say that again. He said Steve got mad about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He was cracking jokes because his saddlebag, because he had lost his saddlebag. And he was like, Bigfoot. He said, we found your saddlebag off in the woods. Bigfoot had that motherfucker. But it was we had a lot of incidents. Some people rode cautiously, some rode aimlessly.
Okay. Josh said, talk about when she rode to Port Huron and she had her motor work done, thinking that she was going to beat you.
Who, me?
Yeah. She was thinking she was going to beat you.
She was in 6 and twisting. I had to tell the teacher how to downshift. Come on, Josh, downshift, baby, downshift. And I told her, listen to her engine. When it sounds like it's going to blow up, shift.
No, man. Those memories, man. We gonna go ahead and end this podcast. It's been about an hour and a half. Actually, we ran over time, but that's cool. Cause it was a lot of memories shared. People out there that's listening, that's watching, they laughing, they remembering, they thinking about, and they learning. So I mean, it's informative, man, and it's entertaining too, man. And it's also teaching about bond and get on that highway and ride. Listen, September 1st to the 3rd, we got the Lavish Biker Bash going on in Detroit, 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I need everybody to come out to that. I need everybody to pass the word. We need you there. And like Man D say, nobody pulled the trigger. I pulled the trigger. So I pulled the trigger, man. So show up. Show up. So
we'll all be there.
Yeah, make sure everybody there, man. We need you. We need you there, man. So we gonna go ahead and end this podcast. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. You can follow me on all social media platforms, Lavish T. Williams, and I will check you out on the next podcast.
You've been listening to the Lavish Biker Podcast with your hosts, Lavish T. Williams and Pedro, the dopest podcast in the nation. We want to thank you for hanging out with us, and make sure to add, like, follow, and subscribe at Lavish T. Williams on all social and streaming platforms. We'll see you next time on the Lavish Biker Podcast.